Good afternoon หลวงพี่
Good afternoon. Okay, let's see today how many people join the class. All right, so now may I invite everyone to pay homage to the Triple Gem. Okay. อะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธภคะวาพุทธังภคะวันตังอภิวาเทมิ สวากขาโตภควตาธัมโมธัมมังนัมมัสสามิ สุปฏิปันโนภควโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนามามิ นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะ ครับ Okay, so first, may I respect to หลวงพี่วรวุฒิเนาะแล้วก็อาจารย์นะครับหลวงพี่อาจารย์เควินเนาะ ท่านเควินหลวงพี่วันนะท่านวันนะ so if you are there please could you please turn on your camera นะ so we see you are ready, you are there, you are here, you're ready นะ one
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Hanwan. Are you at the temple?
Yes, and I am a temple, but it's quite busy. I'm working right now, but I'm listening you.
Okay. So we have today Mechi now. Monwari, how are you?
It's good.
Nah.
Always good as usual.
Good as usual, isn't it? Okay. Okay, hello Janice Tan. Nah. How are you doing?
Good afternoon, Long P. Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay, hello Wai Wai.
Good afternoon หลวงพี่
Okay, so it's still raining there at your place?
The weather is good today, not too hot,
Yeah.
not raining.
Okay, so the weather today is quite clear. No? So a couple weeks ago, there's a heavy rain. So there's flooding, especially in northern part of Thailand and moving down to many other provinces, And so it's what a difficult time in different province and area in Thailand. Okay, so hopefully you all are doing well. Okay, so I'm ready to start our class today. From last week, I gave you the assignment, the exercise. I'm not sure you have done this already. So that is one of the assignment that's we're going to be continue and discuss about the topic. So there's only 2 questions that I gave you. Maybe there's only one person who done it. I'm not sure. Let me check and we can take a look and review what we have learned last week. Oh, there's a Joseph and YY. YY who submitted class. The other, I haven't seen your submit. Okay, so you can go back and I'll send you the link again. Okay, so please answer the question that we have discussed a couple weeks ago, actually 2 weeks ago, about the first chapter. And the first question that I put in the exercise is about the asking you to describe the significance of the Bodhisattva inspiration. Why he would like to become the Bodhisattva, and what situation is the beginning of his inspiration of becoming the Bodhisattva in order to help remove people or essential beings from this cycle of suffering. So according to the text that we used, there's a mention about his first aspiration about becoming the Bodhisattva, right? So that he saw his shipmate, start singing in the sea, and he felt empathy on them and thought that it's just a difficult life of the living beings and human being for earning for a living, and that's his first intention of having the intention to how to help remove this cycle of suffering, without knowing how he could do, So and he said that he just travel into the cycle of rebirth, samsara, seeking for the way. At the same time, also accumulating the good deed, good action in order to become the enlightened one or the Buddha. And in the text said that he met, how many Buddha does he met throughout his journey of becoming the Bodhisattva? It's mentioned in the book, actually. Anyone remember or have you revise? 125, right? 125,000 Buddha. So that is many. That means that there's many Buddha in the past. So many mention that the Buddha, there are countless Buddha that's arrived in the past. So, but this Buddha named Gautama Buddha, that he accumulate good deed, good action, and his perfection is full extent and become the Buddha. And in these periods of time, many sources mention that we will have this kappa. We will have five Buddha. There's already 4 Buddha that's arrived. This is the number 4. 4th Buddha, and it's coming. The new Buddha. So name Riyamettaya. that he will be the next Buddha. So Buddhist people believe that he now is accumulating his perfection in order to become the Buddha in the future. So that's about the journey of the Bodhisattva. So how many kind of Buddha are there? So have you ever heard about it? How many kind of Buddha? So what we normally know, so the Buddha is someone who found out the way to end the suffering of life, right? He found the Four Noble Truths and he shared what he have trained himself and practiced, and he shared his wisdom to the other people. And actually, there's many sources that there's not only this Buddha, there's also different we call Buddha in the past. So mainly there are two kind of Buddha actually. I'm not sure you ever heard about the Buddha. Okay, does anyone know how many kind of Buddha?
Two kinds.
Two kinds. So how many Meshi? So can you share with us like
I can explain the name in Thai, but maybe I'm not know exactly about the English name. Okay, two kind of Buddha is the Pajjekaพุทธเจ้า. That means that he enlightenment by himself, but will not teach the people, teach the other people. And the second kind is the Samma Sambuddha Jao. That is our Buddha, the same as our Buddha, who enlightenment and then teach his Dhamma to all over to the people. I'm not sure whether it's correct or not.
So that's what we usually heard about. Actually, we normally know that there's only one Buddha. Many times people come and ask me how many Buddha, why there's so many of his statue. And actually, the statue that's created, there's only one Buddha. And this period of time we call Gautama Buddha, and that is this periods of time. Actually, each period there's going to have. We will have only one Buddha in one period of time. So there wouldn't be like two Buddha that's arise at the same time. So that's you mentioned, Meshi mentioned that there are two kind of Buddha according to the teaching in Buddhism. So first kind of Buddha is called the Pajjeka Buddha. Pajjeka Buddha is self-enlightened Buddha, but he will not teach anyone after he achieved enlightenment, because he haven't accumulated, we call the perfection or the parami to teach other, but he has the ability to attain the arahantship himself. And another kind of Buddha we call Samma Sambuddha. So it's a Buddha who was self-enlightened and also declare and spread his teaching to the other. So they also we call Anu Buddha, the Buddha as a follower. So like his disciple. So we also those we call the Arahanta. The Arahanta who are not the Buddha have to listen to the Samma Sambuddha in order to achieve enlightenment or becoming the Arahanta. So the journey of becoming the Buddha, so it takes time. Like we mentioned in the previous class, that's it cannot be count the time that how long of a person pursuing the good deed, good action to becoming the Buddha. And I heard that there's many we call Bodhisattva gave up along the way. So like if you have the intention to be the Buddha, but if you find, oh, it's take time, take a lot of effort and energy, and you have to accumulate so many things, then and the Bodhisattva can give up his intention to becoming the Buddha. So it's come to be the different interpretation in Buddhism, you know. So now we have a different Buddhist school, that we have the Theravada Buddhism and Mahayana Buddhism, which is a big different concept of focusing on the Buddhahood, you know. So in Theravada tradition, claim that not everyone, not every living being could be the Buddha, you know. In order to end the cycle of suffering, we can become the follower, you know, of who follow the teaching of the Lord Buddha, the Samma Sambuddha. You know? That's why they focus on practicing oneself in order to end the cycle of suffering. You know? So on the other hand, in Mahayana tradition, Mahayana Buddhism focus on cultivating, encouraging people to have the mind of Bodhisattva mind. You know? So they believe that everyone have the seed of the Bodhi mind, you know? And anyone can be the Buddha. You know? So that is not right or wrong, but it depends on the emphasis on the point, you know. So it's not wrong that if you have the intention to be the Bodhisattva, you know, but it requires a lot of sacrifice, you know. And if you take a look at the past life of the Buddha that's mentioned in the Tipitaka, the original sort of the Buddhist text, you know, you will see that how much a person becoming the Buddha have to sacrifice. He have to sacrifice his body, his beloved one, and so many things, you know, to letting go of that selfishness. You know? So becoming the Buddha is not that easy. You know? I want to be the Buddha, then you can do it. You know. So like in the text mentioned that he have the intention is take around 7 asangaya, and keep and have that intention in mind. You know? So later on, he start to declare to the people by speaking out. And he also later on, in the third section of his accumulating the good deed, he start to practice we call ultimate the 10 perfection. You see that in the we call Jataka, in the Jataka, or then how he accumulate the 10 perfection in order to become the Buddha. So that's why this we call is a kind of we call the Buddha, the nature of the Buddha. That's becoming the Buddha, the self-enlightened Buddha. Not in Theravada tradition believe that not everyone can be that self-enlightened Buddha, but we can learn and gain that wisdom and end our suffering based on his teaching. So that's why the quality, one of the very important virtue of the quality of the Buddha is his compassion, and that is when we pay homage, we recognize his virtue of the compassion, his wisdom, and his purification. So that is we call the original concept of the term Buddha. So let us now take a look more on the context. So I would like to share with you some of the information beside the book. And actually in the book, there's cover quite all the sort that's required for this Dhamma study class. So And this slide, we're going to take a look more on the and the Buddha family. So actually we mentioned already about his early life, and since he was born until he grew up and got married. So this is the geography showing the clan and the area where the Buddha he grew up. So the clan that he was born in the clan called Sakaya clan. It's called the Sakaya clan. So it's around the area of the Himalayan foothill. So Himalaya mountain. So there was a kingdom. So the very powerful kingdom there is called Kosala. Kosala kingdom, which is very powerful and have authority all over the clan. So Sakaya is under the Kosala kingdom. So in Kosala kingdoms, another important kingdom is over here. We call the Makata kingdom. So these two kingdoms have their own authority that they can govern and very influential with the other clan and small clans around this area. So where the Buddha was born is over here. It's called Sakaya. And Sakaya, and that capital city of this clan is called Kapilavatthu. Now in Thai, Kapilaphat, Kung Kapilaphat, Kapilavatthu. Okay, so this is the Himalayan legend. So to the north, the territory of the area, the area of the Sakaya stretch into the Himalayas and still the forested region of the mountain, which form their northern border. And this is the Sakaya clan. And the capital city of this clan is over here. So it's called Kapilavatthu. So do you remember the when Queen Mahamaya, when she traveled back to her kingdom? So this is her hometown. It's a Golia clan, and the capital city of this clan is Tewataha. The Tewataha. So she when she then the gods arrive here. This is the Lumbini Park. Is a park where she gave birth to Prince Siddhartha. So this is today belong to Nepal as a birthplace of the Buddha. So this area. So in the old day, these areas not divided in different country. So this area now it's like a border between Nepal and India, the northern part of India. So if you have a chance to go to India or Nepal, and this is one of the Buddhist pilgrimage that the Buddha advised to go to visit in order to have the sense of urgency. All right. So the city of Kapilavatthu. Actually, there's the story why is named Kapilavatthu. Kapilavatthu. So Kapilavatthu was an ancient city in the northern part of India. Indian subcontinent, which was the capital of the clan of Sakaya. And it was found by the son of Ogaga. Now, Ogaga is a king, we call the great-great-grandfather of the Buddha. Now, we're going to take a look at the lineage of how Buddha family start, So I have the family tree. They show you that how his family continue and where he's originally from. And the site of the hermits of the sage Kapila. So it's a place where the Kapila sage, the sage is like a spiritual seeker that's living there. So, and the king used the name of the sage to be the name of the capital city. That is how come the name Kapilavatthu from Kapila. It's come from the name of the sage that's living there. And near the city there was the Lumbini. That is where the Buddha was born. And in this city, it was ruled by the king, King Suddhodana, the Buddha father, and Queen Maya, the Buddha mother. And the town where Prince Siddhartha grew up. And this is the importance of the Kapilavatthu city in the Sakaya clan. Okay, let's take a look at the Sakaya, how these we call a name of the clan come from. Sakaya originally, the term Sakaya, in Pali we call it Sakaya, spelled like this. So or Saka, or Saka. Now in Sanskrit form is Sakaya, Sakaya. So what does this mean? What Sakaya mean? So Sakaya name was derived from the Sanskrit root sak, or Sakaya. It means to be able, worthy, possible, or practicable. So there is a story that the Ogaga Raja, the king, he has 4 sons and 5 daughters. But by mistake, he told his new wife, who had a son, that's whatever she had, he will give her anything. Then the wife, his new wife, asked him to let her son to continue the throne. So the King Ogaga Raja have to let his 4 sons and 5 daughters to leave the city to build another, we call another kingdom. And one day are able to create, build the new city. And the King Ogaga Raja, he proclaimed the term Sakaya. Sakaya means so brave, like they're able, they're able to create a new city. And the name of the Sakaya was also derived from the name of the Saka, or Saka tree. Saka tree, which is identified to be either teak or sala tree. So sometimes they translate the term Saka as teak, So some believe that the place that they build the new city is an area where plenty of teak, or the tree that's have in that place. Okay, so this is the original, the origins of the Sakya. Said that the Sakya were an Eastern Sub-Himalayan ethnic group on the periphery, both geographically and culturally, of the Eastern geographic plan in the greater Makata cultural region. So this is the in the geography mentioned on the Sakya. The Sakya were of the mixed origin of Indo-Aryan and Munda, which is the group of people that migrate from the northern part of India. And the Sakya were closely related to their eastern neighbor of the Goliya tribe, with whom they intermarried. So according to the Indian caste, we call caste system, So in the Sakya, considered as we call king, the ruler class. So they don't marry across with the other class. So that's why they just marry across among their we call caste. Okay, so this is about the myth and the lineage of the Buddha family. So it starts from the king named Oga Raja, which is the origin of the Sakya dynasty, and still up to the King Suddhodana and Princess Mahamaya, who governed the city of the Kapilavatthu. So this is the pedigree or lineage of the Sakya. So this is the Sakya, we call house, Sakya house, and also the Goliya house. So at that time, there's two important house. That's they married across each other. So there's a king, the family. In the Sakya house, it starts from the Oga Raja. Actually, they originally come from the same great grandfather. That is King Oga Raja. He has 4 sons and 5 daughters. And still, it's come to be the time of the Jayasena, which is a great grandfather of the Lord Buddha. And Jayasena has one son and 1 daughter, and that is Yasodhara and Sihanu. And Sihanu got married with the Kanjana, which is come from another house. It's come from the Goliya house. And also Yasodhara got married with the Anjana. Anjana. This also come from the Goliya, the Goliya house. And Sihanu and Kanjana has 4 sons. 4 sons. First is Suddhodana. 2 is Tododana. 3 is Sakkodana. And sorry, there's 3. And 4 is Amitodana. Amitodana. 5. Four sons. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is the daughter actually. So Amita and Pamita. So this is from the Sihanu. Sihanu, the great Buddha grandfather. So King Suddhodana, who ruled the Kapilavatthu, got married with the Queen Mahamaya from the Goliya house, and they have Siddhartha, and King Suddhodana also, after the Queen Mahamaya passed away after 7 days, right? So she died, and King Suddhodana got married with the younger sister of Queen Mahamaya, which is the stepmother of the Prince Siddhartha. That is the Mahapajapati Gautami. So King Suddhodana and Queen Mahapajapati Gautami, so they have one son and one daughter, that is Nanda and Sundari Nanda, which is later on became the Bhikkhu and Bhikkhuni. And for the other, they also have like Tototana got married with the Kali Koda, and they have the Patiya, and Sakodana. So there's no information and who he got married with, but they have the Mahanama as his son, and Anuruddha and Amitodana. So there also no information his wife who got married with, but he has Ananda, the Ananda, who became the Buddha attendant, and later on. So Amita, and she got the Tula Tissa, Pamita and Supaputta, and Pamita, the mother of the Princess Yasodhara, and they have a Tewadatta, and Supaputta, the father of the Yasodhara. So Prince Siddhartha got married with the Yasodhara, Princess Yasodhara, and they have Lahula, and the son of the Prince Siddhartha. So this is the Sakaya house. So to help us see clearer about the lineage of the Buddha, in Goliya house, start from the Tewadaha. Tewadaha is the capital city of the Goliya house. And Anjana and Yasodhara, Gajana and Sihanu. So that is the showing another line. And Supaputta and Pamita, that we already have here. There's Tewadatta and Lahula. And you see here, so this is come from the Sakaya. So Sakaya and come to be the Siddhartha, and this side from the Goliya line. So it become the Yasodhara or Bimba, and the Buddha, the Prince Siddhartha bride, and they have the Lahula. Okay, so this is another maybe the Goliya and Sakaya clan. The relationship about these two clans. So because only the ruler caste only marry across each other. So that's why sometimes it's very complicated, to take a look at the structure and how they got married across in one another. So, but when we look back to the origin of the beginning of the line of these two family, and they come from the same lineage, and that is start from the King Oka Raja, and his son and daughter just divide and go to build another kingdoms, and later on they come to have a marriage and have a more bigger family. Okay, so this is the maybe small exercise to see that how and what is the relation and how these people relates to the Prince Siddhartha, to help us understand that where the Buddha originally come from. So Sihanu, anybody remember what Sihanu have what is the relationship with the Prince Siddhartha?
Grandfather.
Chalanpon.
Grandfather เป็นปู่
Sihan. Oh, sorry. This is number 2. Number 1, Chayasena. Chayasena first.
Yasena is a great grandfather.
The great grandfather. And Sihanu
Is a grandfather.
Grandfather, right? And what about Gajana?
Kachana is a grandmother.
A grandmother. Okay. So what about number 4? Anjana. Anjana. Grandmother
Anjana
as well?
Grandmother, yes. As a grandmother too.
How grandmother? Okay, we'll
but
take a look.
it's
Take a look in the answer of this. And just Sodara.
Yasodhara. Wife?
Not really his wife. Actually, that's many people quite confused.
okay.
There's the two Yasodhara.
Is the
Or maybe great grandmother.
mother-in-law not.
Mother-in-law.
Yes.
Okay, so Subaputta,
Mother-in-law. Father-in-law.
father-in-law, and the father of the princess, the Yasodhara princess.
And
Amita. Amita.
Amita actually is the auntie. The aunt.
Aunts.
Aunt. Yes.
It could be aunts
Aunt.
or maybe
Yeah.
mother-in-law or
Aunt.
something. Okay, we will take a look in this. Mahapajapati, sorry, this is M. Mahapajapati. How what is the relationship?
As the aunt and stepmother.
Aunt and stepmother. Okay. Number 9, Suddhodana.
Father.
The father, and Mahamaya.
Mother.
The mother. And Nanta.
Brother.
A brother-in-law. Oh no.
No, brother. But is the son of the Mahapajapati Gotami and Suddhodana.
Half brother.
No, because it's like cousin.
Okay, let's see. Number 12, Sandari Nanda.
Sister of Nanda and also the daughter of Mahapajapati Gotami. And also the cousin of can call cousin or not. because the same father but different mother.
Different mother.
Sibling. Should be sibling.
Yeah,
Yes, sibling.
Okay. Yasodhara or Bimba.
Wife.
This is the wife. And Lahula.
Son.
The son of the Buddha. Okay, let's see. So what's give the answer on this thing? Jayasena, the great grandfather, the great grandfather of the Buddha. Sihanu, the grandfather. Kachana, the grandmother. Anjana, the grandfather. Yasodhara, the grandmother. Subhaputta, the father-in-law. Amita, and the mother-in-law. Mahapajapati, the aunt and stepmother. Subhaputta, Suddhodana, the father. Mahamaya, the mother. Nanda,
on the half brother. We call the half brother.
Sandarinanda, the half sister. Yasodhara or Bimba, wife, and Lahula, the son. So this we in the Buddha history, now you may came across this name, and this when you take a look and read especially in the Tipitaka, you may come across or see in this name, and that will help you to understand how these people have their relationship to the Lord Buddha. Especially when the time when the Buddha went back to his kingdom and after he found achieved enlightenment. So there are also many prince and his relative became his follower, became the monk. So we will have take a look and more and story and detailed and how these people have their role on the Buddha life. Okay. Okay, so this is the from in the textbooks, the history of the house of Sakaya. So it mentioned quite exactly the same that I show you in the slide. The first king of the Sakaya house, of the house of Sakaya, come from King Okakaraja or Okakara. And he had 4 sons and 5 daughters. He had 4 sons and 5 daughters with his wife, and who was his own sister. And after his wife died, he had a new wife and a new son. And the king made the mistake of granting his new wife a wish that in that whatever she asked from him would be granted. So she asked that her son to be made the next king. So that is a beginning of that's why his 4 sons and daughter have to leave the kingdom to build a new house, the new kingdom. And that is a beginning of the Sakaya and the Goliya house. And then King Okakaraja told his 9 sons and daughter to go and build their own city. And the eldest daughter later married with the king of this city of Tewataha. They found the house of Scolia. That has become the new lineage. And the other 4 brother and 4 sister married each other and built their own a city in the Sakha forest located in the Himawanta legend. It has been the dwelling yogi called Kapila. So it's a place where the Kapila Sheikh Kapila living there. So they use the name of the Sheikh. So they named the city after the yogi Kapilavatthu. They found the house of Sakya. So, and this is the Buddha family, and his lineage, and still he was born. But that is just add a little more detail from last chapter. Okay, so last time we already mentioned about when he was about to see the 4, we call it the 4 messenger. The 4 messenger, we call it the 4 celestial messenger. That's caused him to think of going to be we call the ascetic, becoming the monk. So he lived his life very happily in the palace throughout 29 years since he was born, until he got married with the princess, the Bimba, the Yasodhara. So this is a little more detail. After he got married, so at the age of 16, with Princess Yasodhara. So there's another important thing, that's the thing that was born the same day that the Prince Siddhartha was born. So do you know? Does anybody know? There's how many things that was born the same day? The same day that the Buddha was born.
7.
There's totally 7, and there's seven things that happen. We call born. This exactly the same day that the Buddha was born, because his good deed, good action, and this thing will happen to arrive with the Buddha. There's 7 things. What are they? Okay. There's 7 things. So what's born with the Buddha? So it's like quality of the Buddha. Okay. Just
is the human is the first one is Karutayi.
The curse.
Karutayi. Yeah. Pimpa Yasodhara.
Christmas minister, Yasodhara, his wife, Yasodhara, his wife. His wife, Princess Yasodhara, was born the same day as Prince Siddhartha. Yasodhara. Okay, 2. 2 is already.
Horse Kantaka.
Gandaka steeds, the steeds, the horse, the Prince Siddhartha horse. Okay.
Channa, the servant.
The servant or his attendant.
4. Now 4 or 5?
4. There's 3 more. Only 3 more. Okay, let's see what are they. Okay, so thank you very much for sharing. Okay, let's see. First is his wife. So the first is his wife, Princess Yasodhara. So this is what born the same day that the Buddha was born. Prince Yasodhara or Bimba. Now was one of the people and thing that came into being in the same day that the Prince Siddhartha was born. So this include Prince Yasodhara, and this one, Prince Yasodhara, Venerable Ananda.
Mm-hmm.
So he was born the same day as Buddha. Galudayi, the cursed minister, มันเป็นอำมาตย์นะ Galudayi. And number 4 is Channa, the loyal page. The loyal page, who follow him wherever he go. And number 5 is Gandhaga. Gandhaga is his favorite horse, the loyal steed. Loyal steed. And Bodhi tree, and the tree that he achieved enlightenment, the Bodhi tree.
For treasure.
And the last one is the 4 treasure truth. It said that these treasure also arrive at the corner of the palace. It's four side, in the 4 corner. And that's arrived when he was born. So this is another often asked in the exam. So normally in like when I study the history of the Buddha, so I got this question. So what are the 7 things and people and things that was arise the same day that as the Prince Siddhartha born. So this is the 7 important things that was born with the Buddha. All right, so now today we continue to another session of the life of the Buddha. Is about the 4 celestial messenger. So now he was 29 years old. So Prince Siddhartha got married and have his life very happily, living in the palace. So one day, at the age of 29, he asked his father to visit people outside of the palace. So in his life, he had never been outside of the palace. His father built a wall to let him stay in the palace, and believing that if he live his life happily, enjoy his life, live in the palace, if he happy, he will not think of going to be the monk, because his father deeply afraid that the prediction that made by the Asita, the sage, that your son will be the king or the monk, but King Suddhodana don't want that happen, that he will be the spiritual leader. So for 29 years that he lived in the palace, so whatever thing that could serve him and make him happy, his father provide him everything. Build 3 season castle, let him stay, in different season. So provide him dancer, beautiful woman living in the palace. So now he really would like to know about the world outside of the palace. And one day he asked his father, may I go out and see my people? So one day I will become the king and rule and take care of them. So at first, his father are not willing, to let him go out to see the reality outside. And he tried, and it said that he arranged everything, So he ordered the children to arrange everything, very organized, and prevents whatever unpleasant thing away. So they just like arrange the palace and procession. And but some versions said that when he went out, so the celestial being, this guy, this guy and this guy themselves, to be the old man, to be the sick man, to be the dead man, and to be the monk, to remind him that now it's time to go to because seeking for the truth of life. So it mentioned here that he saw an old man, a sick man, dead man, and the monk. We call four sides. In Thai we call Tevatut. Tevatut is like a the message. The message does remind him about the truth of life. And when he saw, so when he saw the old man at the first time, he was curious at why this person looked very different from the other people. Why he questioned to his loyal page, the Channa, that why this man, he has a gray hair, why his body is bent over, and he almost have no energy left in him, and why he have a so look very difficult to walk, So having never seen this kind of person, so he asked, what happened to this man? Is that a person? Is that someone was born like this? And his loyal page, Channa, told him that, no, my dear prince, this man used to be young like you and me. His hair used to be black. He used to be very healthy. And now he get old. He get old. So he had, what is old? So when we live longer, when someone live long enough, we will become like this old man, my dear prince. You and me, and he asked the Channa. Yes, you and me, my father, my mother, my wife, everyone, my dear prince, get old. So that's made him a little saddened, seeing what was called aging or old. And then he continued traveling, visiting the people. Then he saw the sick person who was mourning in pain. So again, that he saw this man, like the face is twist, and he asked, the person, why this man just mourning out, and he just like almost just grabbing his breath, and he was about to touch that man, that sick man, and the Channa trying to stop him. Don't touch him. So his blood is poison. He has a disease. So if you touch him, you will be infected by his disease, and you will become like this sick man. And that is the first time he experienced what's called sickness. So again, he asked, what happened to him? And Channa told him that this is called sickness, my prince. So when we body gets sick sometime, and also many other kind of disease and sickness that's caused painful at this kind of sickness, So again, and that sick man's like look very difficult to breathe, And he said that, so why he just like look very hard to breathe, and he almost have his breathing, And the Channa said that when he continue, now if if his disease is not recover, finally his breath will be gone, and he would die. So what is die? And he questioned, Channa, what is die? What happened to the person who died? And the China, and they continue, and they found, and he saw the dead person. And the China point out to the dead man. So that is called the dead man, my dear prince. So he asked again, so what happened to these people? Why everyone is crying? So what happened to this man who lying in the pile of wood? And while he seeing the people burning the dead person, and he asked again, what happened to this man? And Channa explained to him that this man's already he's died, he's dead. So this is the ultimate truth of life. So everybody at the end, death come to all. So that's made him very sad, and a little depressed about what he just saw. So at the next thing he saw the monk, who was calm and composed, like calmly sitting under the tree meditating. So the only thing that make him a little comfort is when he looking at the monk, So he asked again, who is this person? And Channa told the prince that this is a monk, my dear prince, a person who gave up their families and property, and to searching for the truth of life, to end the suffering. So after he saw this four thing, he went back to his palace and kept thinking about what he just saw. And then what he thought at that time, we saw that upon seeing the first three celestial messengers, Prince Siddhartha felt saddened by the image of suffering inherent in every life. Suffering was everybody lot in life, and therefore he should not allow him to be lured by the false happiness of the material world any longer. He should go in search of the way to end suffering so that he could help his fellow beings. So that is the thought that's arising in his mind after he saw the four celestial messengers. So he thought that all the thing that he have in the palace is temporarily. So he looked back to his life, all the power, all the money, all the things, all the treasure that he have. So when he found the suffering of the life of the being, he found that this is just something that temporarily that's be with him. So that's the beginning, and thinking of going to be the ascetic, to looking for and searching for the truth of life. Upon seeing the four celestial messenger, which was the calm and composed monk with the joyful countenance, the prince liked what he saw very much. So that is the only thing that he felt satisfied. That is the monk. Then he exclaimed that Sadhu Ko Babaja, Sadhu Ko Babaja. So he exclaimed that entering the monkhood is a good thing. And he decided to take up his religious life. Okay, and this is another important and touching situation. that happened to Prince Siddhartha. So we call it the fetter of life. The feather is like a trap of life that's holding him and not to go to enter the monkhood. So the night before he leaving the palace, at the same day that's his wife, Princess Yasodhara, gave birth to her son. As Prince was thinking about becoming a monk, his father had a messenger bring him to the news that Prince Yasodhara just had given birth to a baby. Then Prince Siddhartha felt immediately deep love for his son, and the kind of love that he has not yet experienced before. At the same time, he felt deep and heavy concern so much so that he has to exclaim, Pantanam chatang lahulang chatang. So this is the Pali term, which means a feather has appeared. So a feather is like that's a hoop, or feather that's will make him stuck not to enter the monkhood. As a result, the newborn infant was called Lahula. And that is how come the name of his son it's come from actually maybe he didn't intentionally give the name to his son as Lahula, but what he exclaimed, and maybe the nursemaid heard that, oh, maybe the prince giving name to the newborn infant as Lahula. So his son was named as Lahula because of that, actually, which means a feather, a feather of life. That's the term Lahula. So on his way back to the palace, he passed by a window whereby one of his relatives, Gisa Gotami. Gisa Gotami was standing, and she exclaimed upon seeing the prince. Then she said, the parents of Prince Siddhartha will be happy, and their suffering will end. Whoever is the prince's wife, she will be happy, and her suffering will end. So at that time, people normally use the term Nibbana. So Nibbana means the end of suffering. So that's why Nibbana is not a new term that's happened after the Buddha teaching arrived. Actually, the term Nibbana already people it could mean like happiness or free from suffering or end of suffering. That does come from the term Nirvana. Or sometimes it could be extinguishment. So this is the term Nirvana mean extinguishment. Extinguished from suffering, the cycle of suffering. So, and upon hearing these words, the prince felt moved because he was already thinking about nirvana or the end of suffering. And he removed his bleach chain and had one of his pages bring to the Gisa Gotami and to thank to her for her words. So that is maybe that's to remind him what Gisa Gotami just said about the term nirvana. That is like remind him about there must be the way to end the suffering. And that reminded him once again how he had to go in search of the way to end suffering, which could not be gained by physical beauty and loving kindness and compassion. There had to be a profound method which could lead to the end of aging, sickness, death, and other form of suffering. So now it's time when he leave the palace and enter the monkhood. In And in thinking of the becoming a monk, Prince Siddhartha, and here he said that Prince Siddhartha, he asked for his father permission. If he asked permission from his family, he surely that they will not allow or maybe give his permission to become or enter the monkhood. So he have to silently and without telling anyone and escape from the palace. So so then he at that night, so he called his loyal page, the Channa, to get his steed, Gandaga, the horse, his favorite horse, ready for him. And before he leave, he went to say goodbye to his wife and son. And they were both fast asleep, and he felt such a deep love for his son that he wanted to hold him, but he was afraid he would awake both mother and baby. So you may see, like if you have a chance to visit the temple, you will see the painting in the wall, and see that Prince Siddhartha just opened the door and see the mother and the son. And he looked upon his son, a little face, and thought of how his beloved son would have to encounter so many forms of suffering in life, just like everyone else. And he felt deeply saddened by the thoughts. As he turns around, he saw the lady in waiting, falling asleep in strange posture. Some were snoring loudly, and some had their mouth open, and their saliva was trickling down the corner of their mouth. Some were instantly exposed. And to him, they looked no different from cough. So such a scene, such a disgusting scene happened to him. So it said that because he is now his 10th perfection already full, So showing those beautiful dancer, beautiful singer, So when they fall asleep, and they just look like a corpse or dead body in the graveyard. So that's making him even bored about life of becoming a king or the prince. So that is even posture his intention that he had to be quickly to enter monkhood. Then Prince Siddhartha, he felt as though he was standing inside a graveyard with cough and straw about. Just was the condition of someone fat asleep, hence devoid of mindfulness. So like those ladies just like laying down and sleeping without mindfulness. And he thought that how all the people in the world are devoid of mindfulness, even when they are completely awake. And all of them experience the suffering of life, and yet no one think about finding the way to end it. They live from one day to the next day, grow old and die. Their entire life is wasted. Their life are not unlike those of animals. Their life merely to earn a living and gain some temporal or temporarily and fleeting the pleasure. So that is he start to thought in his mind the nature of the suffering, and how must be careless about life, and how much people, most of the people, that's why he called us, most of the people are sleeping, because not knowing the reality of life, just like believing that life that we have now is the pleasure, the entertainment that we have is real happiness. But he has wisdom to see that this thing is like a delusion, that's a trap the being to suffer, and not knowing that we are in crisis, That's why that's ignorance leading being to reborn again and again and again, and have to suffer. So Buddha mentioned that all living being, because not seeing the truths, the Four Noble Truths, have to reborn, die, get old, get sick, die, and reborn again and again. It's countless, like suffering is endless. And Buddha once said that the tear that people was born and have to suffer from the thing, separate the thing that they love, their beloved one, and thing that they love, and the tears that they cry is more than the ocean. So that is how much beings and led by that's ignorance and have to suffer in the cycle of rebirth or samsara. And having that thought, this topic is the great search. So then Prince Siddhartha, he had a strong determination, was determined to go and search for the way to end suffering. And when he found it, he would not keep it to himself, but would share it with other people. And if he were to remain and raise his son, and one day the boy would ascend the throne, but he would still grow old, get sick and die. Moreover, he had to take on the responsibility of looking after his subject, or his people. So that is the intention, the wisdom that he had, that becoming a king cannot help remove suffering of the people. So the king also will get old, my son, my wife. So he's seeing the human, we call suffering, rather than just govern the people. So that is the nature of the bodhisattva, like have the intention to help remove the suffering of the being. Since the beginning that he has been the clue, that the poor man, that he start to have that intention. But if he left them, his son will be all right. And given that he has his mother and all the loving relative to care for him, if he did not succeed in finding the way to end suffering, his son would still be able to ascend the throne. But if he did succeed, humanity would benefit from his efforts. Being a Dhamma king who can help people to end suffering is far superior to being a king who cannot really help end the suffering of his subject. So this is the wisdom of the Prince Siddhartha. That's he is sure that he don't want to be the universal monarch or the king. And then, having thus made his decision, Prince Siddhartha turned away, left castle, and went to where Channa was waiting for him with his steed Gandaka. His steed was born on the same day as Prince. It was a beautiful white horse. Its head was jet black. It was very strong. It understood human language and human gesture. And when the prince approached his steed, he stroked it back and with loving kindness, and the steed was glad to be ridden by the prince and whinnied loudly. The prince mounted the steed and headed for the city gate, followed closely by Channa. Then they went out to from the palace. So this is another a part of how the enemy of the good deeds. At that time, there was, we call the Mara. I'm not sure you have heard about this term. Mara is the Lord of Desire. There's a many different form of Mara in the Buddhist in the Buddhist teaching, you know. So this Mara is a Mara that's he was jealous of the Buddha. That's the he was jealous of the Prince Siddhartha that he will be the self-enlightened Buddha. You know? So the Mara came. Yeah. So at that time it was full moon night of the 8th lunar month. You know? The moon was shining brightly in the crownless sky, lighting up the sky and the ground. The air was clear and a light breeze was blowing. As the prince rode past the city gates, there appeared to a music in the air and voice saying, "Stop, prince, don't enter monkhood just yet, for in 7 days the precious wheel will appear for you and you will become a mighty universal monarch," said by the Mara. So when asked who the voice belonged to, so that's just what Prince Siddhartha asked, and it answered as Vasa Vamit. Now Vati Mara. Now Vati Mara is a king. Is a king of the in the sixth heaven, who have a wrong view. And he believed that he is mortal, because the lifetime of the celestial being in the sixth heaven, so very long. And he believed that he's mortal and he will never reborn again, because he saw that all being dies, reborn, die and reborn. So, and that's Mara came to the Prince Siddhartha. And Prince Siddhartha answered to the Mara that I know all about the precious wheel. The precious wheel is a property that the universal monarch will have after he become the king. And the Mara said that only from now on, only next 7 days. So this precious wheel, in Thai we call Jak Keo, will appear to you. But they mean nothing. That's what he said to the Mara. They mean nothing now. For I aspire to the Buddhahood. So I will be the Buddha. I will enter the monkhood and become the enlightened one and discover the path to end the suffering. And he said, I decide the great and profound knowledge that can end suffering. And leave me now. Then the Vasavati Mara did leave because he cannot prevent him from entering the monkhood. And Vasavamita said, here was a wrong view celestial being who dwelt in the sixth celestial realm. And he was of the belief that rebirth in the state of happiness is entirely satisfactory. Hence, there is no need to remove oneself from the realm of rebirth. So that is a Vasavati Mara. He said that this Mara also one of the Bodhisattva who in the future become the Buddha. But he also now accumulating his parami of affection. But because of his, he envied the Prince Siddhartha and trying to stop him becoming the Buddha. And then Prince Siddhartha arrived at the bank of Anoma River. So this is the where the Buddha, Prince Siddhartha ordained himself and become the wandering ascetic. Which border Kapilavatthu, Savatthi, and Vesali. There was a large earth mound on its bank, and the water was clear. And the prince went across the river to the other side where the beach was filled with white sand, and with creature in the moonlight. And the prince removed his jewel, using his right hand to hold a dagger, and the left hand to hold his top knot. And he cut off, as soon as he did that, the end of each of his remaining hair curled to the right and laid flat against his head, never to regrow again. So when you see the Buddha head, it's like a nail. Yeah. So that is what is mentioned in many Buddha history. That's since then his hair never regrow again. Yeah. So after he cut his top knot. All right, so now it's about time, and so we'll go a little, maybe a little more, then we'll end our class today. Sacrificing everything for life, ultimate goal. The fact that he had cut off his hair was the sign that he would never return to his former life in the palace again. In those days, adherents of Brahmanism believe in letting one hair grow long and arranging it upward into a top knot. Anyone who cut off his top knot or shaved his head would be treated with contempt, because he would be regarded as a rough or a heretic. So that is a kind of Indian culture. So after I heard that he already, like especially his father, heard that, oh, he already entered monkhood and he cut off his top knot. And that symbolized that he will not turn back to his kingdom. So there's an interesting point why after leaving the palace, why King Suddhodana didn't send any soldier to call him back, because he know that this is a very strong and determination that he has cut his own hair. So that is show everything of the to guarantees and show his determination of entering the monkhood. So he now become a wandering ascetic, and he traveled from place to place, seeking for the way and to end the suffering. So next time, now we are going to be talking more about his journey of looking for the paths of we call that the training that he have done throughout 6 years. So as you have heard of study, he spent 6 years of trying many different ways, with many different beliefs and with many different teachers. And he went to study with the 2 great teachers, that he learns very profound and different kind of meditation. But at the end, he found that those teachers and all the subject and meditative learning could not lead to the end of suffering. So we're going to take a look at that point in detail for next week. All right. So now we come to the now. Okay, it's time. Okay, any question before we leave the class? So maybe some point, or maybe any point that you may heard or you have never heard about before on the history of the life of the Buddha. Okay. So if there's no question, so next week we will take a little a bit time to recap that we have discussed today. All right, so next week we will continue to the next chapter. So this chapter we are about to finish, and next week is going to be the chapter 2. So after he entered monkhood and what he found. All right, so that's all for today. So next week, so get yourself ready, and if possible, you can take a look and read the book before the class. So we can go, and if you have any question, so don't hesitate to share with me and with the class. Okay, so let us now pay homage to the Triple Chain. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Swakhato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Saṅkho Saṅghang Namami. Okay, see you next time, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you, หลวง
Thank
พี่
you หลวง
กราบน
พี่
มัสการขอบคุณค่ะ
Thank you.
Sadhu, sadhu,
Sadhu.
sadhu.